Okay, today we are playing a game on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We are in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Mercy the entire way through. And dude, thank God for the replay feature. Oh, I have to do so much less video editing these days. It's incredible. We're Team 2. We got Mercy, Widow, Anna, Genji, Rhine, Diva. So a pretty average team comp. We as Mercy, we've got the Widowmaker to damage boost, which is very important to me personally, having someone good to damage boost on your team if you're going to play Mercy. Widow is a good one to damage boost. Hooray. And then Genji gets to feel special because there's also an Anna on the team. How about that? Both DPS can have their egos stroked. Isn't that nice for them? So we're going after the Genji a little bit there, which I don't really want to do because you can't rely on Genji players, frankly, and they are some of the people that will most frequently lead you into a dangerous situation and then immediately fuck off and leave you. The amount of times I've seen a Mercy follow a Genji, and then the Genji just dashes over like 3 walls and leaves the Mercy behind to die. That's always been very fun for me to watch, because I don't play Mercy, so I don't get to sympathize with that suffering. So anyway, everything's fine right now. We're winning the fight. We have largely been able to avoid the enemy team. I just noticed the Widow's name is Rework Mercy. That's very funny. Yes, I'm gonna play one of the best heroes to play with Mercy, and then name myself Rework Mercy. So we could have rezzed the Widowmaker here. Not much is really threatening us right now, and she's died in a fairly convenient place that we could res her from, mostly in cover, also. So we could have gone for the res on her. We decided not to. The spawn is right over there at the same time, so it's not like it's a massive time save on the res, and it is a 30-second commitment to use the res on somebody. So Genji's using Dragon Blade right now, so we're following him in to try and make his life easier while he's doing that. Anna doesn't have Nano Boost yet. She's woefully close, so that's the best he's gonna get. McCree just used Deadeye. That's why we swung out around that corner as hard as we could right there. And hey, look at that. We captured the first checkpoint. It's a very good day for us because nothing's really pressuring us. We're getting to just basically sit back and have a great time hanging out with Rework Mercy over here. It's great. It's tremendous. We've got Valkyrie for if bad things do start to happen to us. Realistically, well, someone just changed to Widow, so we've got to worry about that one now. But previously, the only thing we really had to worry about was Hammond, but as Mercy, it's not that hard to get away from Hammond. Oh, here comes a Boostio. Very scary. Now there's a Widow, though. We haven't learned that yet in-game. I'm looking at the UI, so I'm cheating. But now there is a Widow, so we'll have to be careful of that one. So a couple people got picked off over there. McCree's fucking going in on us, dude. Like, he is gone balls to the wall all the fuck way in. And he did get us. Our teammates started to get picked off. We couldn't realistically res them. Self-destruct was also scary, partly in there, so pretty much just fucked on that fight, more or less. We do have Valkyrie. We do have to be careful when we're using Valkyrie against a team like that, because they have a Widowmaker and they have a McCree. If there's a McCree or a soldier on the enemy team, you've just got to generally be careful unless you know with certainty they don't have their ultimates right now. If you're not sure if they have their ultimate, you should just hedge on the assumption that they do have their ultimate, because if you assume they don't and they do, you fucking die and you lose Valkyrie. So it's best to assume the worst if you're uncertain. Oh god. Jesus fucking Christ, Hammond. I did hear area denied come through that doorway, and no fucking lie, that area is pretty denied right now, so we won't go through there, I guess. McCree is all the fuck way out here right now, which is pretty incredible. He didn't kill us, so that's nice. Both our DPS are dead, so we've got to wait for them right now. Widow's having a lot of trouble playing Widow at this point, because there's a Hammond Diva and another Widow, so he's having to play around a lot of things at this point. Good old Rework Mercy over there, he's holding it together. I was making a point. Yeah, Soldier or McCree, they've got real good ultimates for killing you, so you've got to play around cover pretty much if you're not sure if they have their ultimates. A lot just happened to us right in here. So we do follow the Genji, like, ridiculously far. I already established earlier I don't want to follow Genji players because I just don't trust them. And never before, like, has it been more worthwhile to not trust a Genji player. We do, like, it would be bad to go this far in following anybody, because just look how far it swings us out over the enemy team, and we get flashbanged right in front of a self-destruct. So there's some unfortunate timing in here that makes it pretty much the worst-case scenario it could possibly be. But don't follow Genji players, dude. Unless, like, they're gonna use their ultimate, I guess. You know, we did follow him a bit previously and it paid off, but be very, very careful when you follow a Genji player. They're not to be trusted, and they don't gain much from you damage boosting them unless they are using Dragon Blade. But it's just so hazardous to follow them as Mercy. Unless you have Valkyrie, then you can play a little bit more aggressively as well, which is what we decided to start doing here, because here's the whole thought process that just went through our heads right here. I can see it. Genji used Dragon Blade. I will use Valkyrie now to make life easier for Genji. Oh, I just heard Deadeye. Never mind, Genji's on his fucking own. Oh, he killed McCree. Great, back out we go now. So, great, it all works out in the end. There are mines right under us, so we've got to be real careful about these mines, because I've also seen that one a lot, where Mercy players are hovering over the minefield, and then forget the mines are there, because they last a really long time. I've watched it in, like, slow motion. I've been just, like, watching the Mercy slowly fall down on the mines, and then just disappear. It's incredible. The amount of people, like, I've seen just forget the minefield is there, dude, and just, like, trip over a mine 10 seconds later. It's incredible. It happens, like, every time we play on stream as well, like, usually multiple times a night. It's absolutely incredible. People have got very poor object permanence. So, things are very scary for us right now. We're trying to help this Reinhardt who's all the way over there, but we're also, like, I like how fidgety we were during that whole product. Danger, danger, danger. Which is pretty much the default Mercy state, to constantly be worrying about it. You'll note we haven't really said very much during most of this time that's of actual consequence, because for the most part, we're pretty much just playing Mercy. We've believed in the wrong person a couple of times where we followed the Genji, but asides that, it's been nothing too egregious. So this McCree is an absolute fucking legend. It didn't slip me by when we got flashbanged in here in, like, a really weird spot. Did we... Actually, I just saw Widow's shots. Did we see Widow ahead of doing this res? Because that got real scary real fucking fast. Did we see Widow shooting? Not before we did it. I mean, Widow doesn't actually shoot us, so obviously it didn't end up mattering, but... you know, don't need to explain too much, I imagine, why rezzing in front of a Widow is pretty bad, but we didn't see the shots until we started rezzing them, so that's fair enough, I guess. We do have to be watching the high ground a little bit more closely than we are. We're doing a lot of, like, looking around, which is nice, but when they've got, like, McCree Widow, or McCree Hanzo now, we gotta look up at the high ground as well to make sure that McCree isn't just, like, up there in the ship waiting to flashbang and shoot us as we walk by. Elevator music was playing in my head, don't worry about it. Here comes Hammond. No real concern is Mercy as long as somebody's in line of sight to GA2, there's nothing to worry about. We go for the res on the McCree. The Hanzo died? Yeah, the Hanzo died, okay. I was like, risky to go for it when Hanzo just killed a man, but Genji killed the Hanzo, so there's actually no risk associated with this. Hammond doesn't even try. Hammond just tries to roll away like nobody noticed he was here. Oh, here comes the nano-boosted Hammond. Great self-restraint to not just use Valkyrie right there, which, I'd be honest, I probably would have done. I would have been like, oh, fucking shit, Jesus Christ, here he comes. This is a scary place to put ourselves, because we do put ourselves in a confined location, and Hammond just starts body-blocking the door. So we do walk into a scary place right there, where we could get cut off from escape, but that ends up not happening to us. Hey, here goes Genji. Got nano-boosted, but we'll use Valkyrie as well. We might as well. Because if we win this fight, we hopefully win the round. And by all means, if you see somebody low like that and you're using Valkyrie, or somebody's just off by themselves, As long as nobody, like, urgently needs care, you go fucking kill that guy during Valkyrie, no problem. Yeah, great self-restraint to not use Valkyrie when the nanoed Hammond was coming at us, which I probably would have done because I'm a baby. But as we saw, we didn't actually need to. Some concern about where we did put ourselves, though. So that was McCree again, wasn't it? Like, right fucking here. Yeah, McCree is right fucking there. This McCree dude, now he's in the room on the left-hand side right there. We've got to be careful around this doorway, because McCree might come out and flashbang us in a second. He is still behind us. Because he hasn't died yet. I'm watching the kill feed. McCree hasn't died. We're dead. Yeah, that's unfortunate. A lot of shit's happening. I'm mostly just thinking about McCree this entire time this was happening. We're doing our best to keep this boy alive right here. And hey, look at that. We managed to mostly save him. Yeah, this is like... So we could have GA'd to... Because self-destruct starts happening, and that's very scary. We could GA to McCree and just hope that's good enough, but... we get caught in, like, an unfortunate space, or you're, like, GAing away from the bad men, and then got Hammonded while self-destruct started happening, so that was unfortunate. We could have hung in the room on the right-hand side a little bit longer, because we weren't being pressured yet, rather than immediately going across, but simultaneously you want to get across before the bad men start pushing up at the same time, so, sometimes you get caught while you're moving from one spot to another. You know, we get pile drove right as we're GAing across, and then self-destruct happens. Sometimes it's just unlucky. Oh, Hammond's using the mines down here. I don't know what we're doing right here. Oh, it's because we're about to be in overtime. Okay, we don't need to do this just yet. I was like, we don't need to we are getting close to overtime. I was just like, saw this and went, oh god, what are we doing? We don't need to do this yet. We still got 6 seconds, so we could wait a little bit before we come over and make this play. I'm still scared to do that right now. Before we absolutely have to. We just heard Deadeye, so that's scary, but it was dealt with. And we're starting to get somewhere. Miraculously, our team didn't all kill themselves pushing in through the minefield, which is mostly what I expected to happen, to be honest with you. This is pretty safe to go for the res. We could have gone for it a little bit sooner, just to try and make sure we get him before people are regrouping, but it was still pretty safe to do it at that time anyway. And everything's doing well. Now they're just rushing out, panic mode, one by one to touch the point. Oh, May's just used Blizzard. She didn't really throw it very well. Like, if that's directly under the payload, that's way worse than just, like, a bit of it getting it, but we pretty much got it by that point. So, all in all, pretty good round. A few, like, overestimations on how much we can trust a Genji, but all in all, like, pretty good round. We played pretty safe. We weren't really pressured overly much throughout most of the game, so we didn't have to worry about too much at the same time, but hey, you know, I've seen a lot of Mercy players that are not getting pressured and still manage to overstep regardless. So, they have a Genji and a Sombra right now. We don't know that yet, obviously. I'm looking at and obviously they've still got the McCree, who's a legend. So we do have to be worried about that. We haven't seen the Sombra yet. I don't know if we pushed tab at some point and saw there was a Sombra in here because we're watching from the replay, but you know, if you don't know exactly what the enemy team is, just like have a gander at the tab screen real quick. Just see if we've seen everybody yet. We're also not doing a lot of healing people at full health, which is also good. I haven't been watching super closely simultaneously, and I did notice we did it like right as I said it. Oh, we did it right there. But I haven't noticed it, so great. That's either great because we didn't do it, or great because I'm just not paying attention. Either way, good. So we've almost got Valkyrie built up already. We're holding the payload in a pretty unusual place to hold it, but the enemy team, you know, it's the kind of team comp where I look at it and I'm like, well, 3 DPS, they didn't have 3 DPS a minute ago, so somebody on their team was mad. Probably the Sombra player. Sombra's got Emp, that's scary. We don't know that's happening, obviously. Oh, we dodged it! Oh, sick! Nice! Oh, fucking incredible. God, it's the worst when you use Valkyrie and then got... Is the Genji seriously failing to kill this guy while he's fucking nano-boosted? Dude. What an absolute god. My man's nanoed Genji. Like, look at this guy. First off, what an absolute legend, right? Because he's got Dragon Blade, and just look how far he runs, dude. Like, we saw him here, and he just runs the whole fucking way to this McCree. Like, look at it. Oh my god, there he fucking goes. Then he gets up, and it looks like he missed. He cut in front of him, then got a cut in, but by that point he's already fucked it up and doesn't actually finish the kill on the guy. What an absolute legend. Had the Nano Blade, Sombra emped, and he had the Nano Blade, and he didn't kill a single person. Absolutely incredible. What a hero. It's almost more impressive that he didn't kill anybody than if he got a team wipe. Absolutely incredible. So, Rework Mercy died over here. We can go for it. It's pretty safe right now. There's only... Oh, no, they haven't got a Sombra anymore. The only scary thing would be, like, if Sombra popped out behind and hacked us. Oh, God, this is scary. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you know, sometimes you get fucked, dude. Like... That's just really I was like, backed it up, like, could we have foreseen that this was coming? But, like, I want to stand on the high ground. Oh, fuck, the mines. Oh, fuck, McCree's coming through that doorway at the same time. Oh, shit. Like, it's a pretty unlikely situation to be found in. Not helped by, like, the position that our teammates are in. And I mean, we have to be up here with them. Like, we can't just leave them, sadly, because, like, we're playing Mercy. Even if your teammates are, like, doing real dumb shit, you gotta do the dumb shit with them, because otherwise they just do the dumb shit 5v6 and they die, and you die because you were doing the right thing alone. So, like, the position our team in wasn't helping, really. It's just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go up on the high ground now. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. It's okay, dude. Sometimes you just get fucked. And sometimes, you know, not every death is realistically avoidable. Here comes McCree, the absolute fucking god that he is. I can see it now. My man, in his mind's eye, right now, he sees himself as the protagonist in Wanted during the warehouse scene. And if you don't know what that is, just look up Wanted warehouse scene, and you'll see what I mean. Because my man's plan right now is just to sprint through the whole fucking hangar and kill everybody before they can react, because he sees time faster. And he can bend his bullets. That's exactly what he saw right there. And he got 2 people, so good for him. That's 2 more people than he deserved to get. Sometimes you get rewarded for doing dumb shit, but he did die in the end because he ran into a big boy that had a lot of hit points. Tragically, he wasn't playing Counter-Strike, so he couldn't just kill everybody with 1 shot. How unfortunate. He should have been playing Widowmaker. Ho ho. Here comes Zenyatta. There goes Zenyatta. So that was exciting. Oh, Nano Boosted Hammond again. Tragically doesn't affect his minefield. Oh, God! We got punched into it by Primal Rage Winston. I was just like, oh, for just like G8, no, stop, and then Winston lands behind us and punches us into the minefield. Fuck, dude. I'd be impressed if you found a way out of that one as Mercy, unless you had Valkyrie. Which we almost did. So, you know, you get to say things like, well, if we were slightly more efficient with our damage boosting earlier, we might have had that 2% extra, and then we could have avoided it. And that's a very nice hypothetical situation to think about, that there was a parallel universe where we survived that situation where we got truly and utterly fucked. Dude, it's pretty brutal. You get pushed into the minefield. It's awful. Doesn't happen to me very frequently because I like to play people like Bridget and Reinhardt, so I'm more likely to take them into the minefield than I am to get pushed into the minefield myself. It is of great joy, because I play with someone who plays Hammond, it is of great joy to me to shield bash someone and then whip shot them into the minefield. It never ceases to put a smile on my face. So, anyway, we're still, like, basically playing Mercy. Like, a lot of the deaths so far, we can't help this guy. Just abandon that guy sooner, because this is a dangerous situation. That boy's purple in front of the whole enemy team. You just leave that guy behind. So yeah, I don't think, like, most of the deaths we've had so far, I feel like, you don't realistically avoid most of them. You'd have to have done something pretty, like, counterintuitive at the time. It's okay to just go, you get fucked sometimes, dude. We're pretty much just playing Mercy. We do have the benefit of playing against a not, like, well, they are kind of dive-heavy at this point, but we have the benefit of having previously played against a team that was not dive-heavy, and now we have the benefit of playing against a dive-heavy team of people that don't want to work together, and are therefore still not pressuring us. So we see Dragon Blades coming at us, and we just immediately used Valkyrie to get the fuck out, which is the exact correct play. Worth pointing out, you know, the position we're in. We start going into a scarier spot. Worth pointing out that we do know they have a McCree, and he is close to having his ultimate, so we do have to be careful where we fly while we're doing this, in case the McCree has Deadeye. Because that's the scary, oh fuck, I gotta get away from this guy. Oh fuck, now he's using his ultimate as well. So I'll point that one out. You gotta be careful still when avoiding them if there's a McCree or a soldier on the enemy team, because it's possible you'll get zoned away from the Dragon Blade straight into Deadeye instead. So you have to be careful about that one. Yeah, but so they don't want to work together with their dive comp, so we've, like, remained miraculously unpressured, like, this entire game. It's been, by all accounts, a pretty chill Mercy game, which is nice. There's a couple of questions in the email, so we'll have something to talk about, but, I mean, yeah, we're pretty much just playing Mercy, dude. Not overly much going on. McCree's using Deadeye right now. We don't know where the fuck he is, but presumably he's below us because we couldn't see him over there. Oh god, oh Jesus, yep, didn't get to him in time, and now we've ended up putting ourselves in a bad spot. It's one of those things where you've gotta say to yourself, alright, realistically I can't save this guy anymore, because I'm out of range, right? Because, like, this is a bad spot. Like, as soon as, like, this is happening, like, this point, I'm like, we can't save this guy anymore. He's one punch away from death. We are not in range, and GA's not up for a second. Can't save him. So us just going over here to try and save the person when we can't realistically do it has put us in a position where we are now going to die instead. So now we've just ended up dying with the McCree. You gotta be ready to write people off as dead when you can't realistically save them. Or you could possibly save them, but doing so would put you in an extremely perilous position. In which case it is still not really worth it because you're more important than the guy that you're trying to save if you're playing a healer. Unless, like, you're the off healer, the main healer is... Well, not even that's not always true. If you're the off healer, the main healer can be more important than you. But if you're a support, like, you're more important than a DPS. So, like, it's not worth you sticking your neck out to try and save the guy. This appears to be Hammond's signature maneuver. Fuck that doorway, dude. Just fucking try it. I fucking dare you to walk through that doorway. And Reinhardt fully can just walk through that doorway if he holds his shield up. However, Tracer has got no fucking patience. She sees that Reinhardt's gonna walk through with his shield, but she just can't wait! And she just blinks in to die. It's pretty impressive, actually. Like, do you see that? That pause is great, because she hasn't moved yet. She's died because she's blinked into a mime, but she's still here. Now she's dead over there. It's great. Her dead body blinked up to it. Isn't that incredible? Oh, time travel's so magical. We can res her because this is a completely safe location, but Tracer could have just been less fucking stupid, and that would have not been necessary for us. But that's asking a lot of the Overwatch community, isn't it? So, they're probably pretty mad that they're not gonna win this checkpoint, right? Like, things were looking pretty good for them 10 seconds ago, and look now, things are looking pretty bad. So we were probably, like, going over because we thought we could res Anna, but tragically not so. Res is still very far away, but we've got Valkyrie right now. They're not exactly doing a lot of damage. I just went back because we put on damage boost right there. just to get rid of the Hammond faster, presumably. I was just going back to see, like, if I could figure why we started damage boosting while we were still healing somebody, but with just Hammond there, we do just want the motherfucker gone, don't we? So we don't get to see play of the game. Let's see what's going on in the YouTube subscriptions to see if the algorithms figured it out. Alright. Top 10 most insane and mysterious broadcast interruptions. I wonder if number 1 might be Max Headroom. I wonder. So this is all absolutely dreadful. I think I watched one Blame It on George video once, so obviously now we're gonna get all this shit as well, because I couldn't give a fuck, dude. Couldn't give a fuck. Couldn't give a fuck. I've seen 20 billion things about that. Unsettling public access shows not shown on regular television. I must confess, I'm curious about this one just because of this gentleman's face. It's pretty incredible. A History of Horror with Mark Gaddis, Part 2 of 3. I love horror. I'd be inclined to watch that. Couldn't give a fuck about this one. I like D&D. That's fine. I like speedruns, and I'm a big fan of Jim Sterling. But, I mean, Jesus Christ. You watch one video and it all goes to shit. Jesus Christ. Haunting exoplanets and life in the universe. Oh, hunting, not haunting. Haunting exoplanets would be a dramatically more interesting video. So anyway, enough of that foolishness. Over in the email. Do you have any tips for tracking ults besides the obvious tells? Also, ways to get over comp anxiety? And if you remember my last videos, do you see any improvements? Because I feel like I've gotten better since the last time I sent a review in. I've been trying to cut down on some battle mercy unless I need to, or see someone I can kill easily. Did have to go back and watch the last one that you sent in, because it was in December. It was a long time ago. From watching that, it was like, there were some, it was on Ilios, and, for the most part, that game was largely fine as well, but during round 3, we got pretty, overly, aggressive in a few situations, and we ended up getting punished for it. And there was also more healing people in full health in that game as well, as opposed to this video. So yeah, less aggressive play. We overcommitted with the Genji a couple times, but compared to the last video that you sent in, less over-aggressive plays and less healing people at full health, which are both improvements. So yes, I have observed an improvement since the last video you sent in. Other tips for tracking ults besides obvious tells? I mean, the easiest one, cause it's one of those things where you can do some pretty serious rounding and be pretty correct most of the time. So, like, if you haven't seen someone ult in, 30 seconds, it is reasonable to assume that, as long as a fight happened and it wasn't 30 seconds of just, nothing happening, it is relatively safe to assume that person is probably getting pretty close to their ultimate. And if it's 45 seconds a minute since you saw them ult, then most assuredly they are very close to having their ults. This might not be true if they're playing someone that has a really slow generating ultimates and they haven't really been getting in there. It's possible you could observe that Azaria has been really low charge this entire game, so she's probably building her ult really slowly, but it's one of those things where, for me personally, I just, go by if I've seen them do it in, 30, 45 seconds, and if I haven't seen them do it, I assume they're getting close, and you're usually correct. It's one of those situations where, if the person is playing just decently, not even incredibly, just, decently, they're probably building their ultimate up within a minute or so. So you can estimate pretty roughly off of that, and you'll usually be pretty correct. It's easier to track with certain people how fast they're building it, because with someone like Reinhardt, you can track it pretty precisely as long as you're paying attention to the guy. Because if you know how many people got hit by Fire Strike, you know that that's it's 8 ult charge per person hit, I think? I played Reinhardt for 12 seasons, I don't know how much exactly it gives you, right? But it hit a person, there's 8 ult charge roughly per person that got hit, so if you saw Fire Strike cleave through 5 people, you know that dude just got, over a third of his ultimate right there, right? Someone of Reinhardt, each swing into somebody is, 7 ult charge, something like that, so if you can, see how many times he swung, you can, track someone like Reinhardt fairly precisely if you're paying attention. But even that is frequently unnecessary, because Reinhardt builds his ult extremely quickly. It's very hard for Reinhardt to build his ult slowly, so he's someone where you can really assume 30 seconds. He almost certainly is close to having Earth Shatter at that point. He's gotten to use Fire Strike something like 5 times by that point. He's close. Discounting any times he spent swinging into people if he pinned anybody, you know. Someone like Zarya, you can estimate a little bit more based off of, like, how much charge it seems like they've gotten, because if you can see Zarya's walking around like a fucking power plant the entire time, then she's building her ult really fucking quickly, right? If she's walking, and if you see that she's, like, never seems to have any charge, that lady ain't building her ult inside of a minute. Like, it's gonna take her longer than a minute if she can't generate charge, you know? So, people like that, you know, you can track a little bit more precisely, but for most people, you can really roughly estimate it and you'll be correct. Just like 30 seconds, 45 seconds is about the time where they're getting close for most people. Some people, like supports, they build theirs faster. Like someone like Anna, she can build her ult inside 30 seconds. Like Moira, it is very easy for her to build her ultimate up during the very first team fight of the game, right? Like, some people build their ult mad fast, but 45 seconds is a rough benchmark for most people. And so, that's, like, the biggest thing for me, is, like, it's one of those things where I think people overthink it a lot. You can, like, estimate pretty roughly a lot of the time and be, like, really close, if not exactly correct. And the other one is also ways to get over comp anxiety. This is a problem I used to have ages ago. I really don't give a fuck anymore, like I got over it. For me personally, it was just a matter of forcing myself to do it, and like changing my mindset about it, because for me personally, it was a matter of like me worried that I was gonna find out I wasn't as good as I thought I was, basically, is like the issue that I had. So eventually I just forced myself to do it enough times, and I just realized eventually, like, who gives a fuck, dude? It's just a number, right? Like, because my mindset now is like, I don't care what my SR is, I'm not really playing to win, I'm just playing to improve instead, so I don't really give a fuck about winning or losing, because if you're playing to improve, it doesn't matter that much if you win or lose, and from an outside perspective, like, it's indistinguishable from playing to win. It's just my mindset about it. Makes it easier for me, right? So, like, that was it for me. Just kind of, like, learning to worry about it less and forcing myself to do it more. If it's, the other common reason is, like, social anxiety, which is, especially common for, female players who are understandably anxious about playing a competitive video game, where you're gonna run into assholes. Such is life on the internet for females just in general, unfortunately, you know. It's unfortunate that it's that way, but it is that way. But if it's like a social thing, then like, all I can really say is just like, remember that in like 15 minutes, like 25 minutes at the absolute longest, right? It's the longest thing the Overwatch game is realistically gonna take. In like 15, 25 minutes, you're never gonna see that person again, dude. Like, you are never gonna see anybody in that game again. You'll see them occasionally you'll see someone from the previous game, a game or two again, like, but like, unless you're in the very, very high end of SR, or very, very low end of SR, you'll never see the people that you play with again. So like, from your perspective, like, in 15 minutes, these people cease to exist, right? So like, that's, like, the thing, like, remember, you aren't gonna see them ever again, so just try not to, like, worry too much about, like, them judging your performance or anything, because, like, you'll never see them again, they'll never see you again, and in, like, a couple hours' time, you'll have forgot you ever interacted with them, and they'll have forgot they ever interacted with you, right? Like, it's a very fleeting experience, so try to just bear that one in mind, and, like, if people also get, like, really anxious about, like, voice chat and everything, just don't worry about it, dude. Just, like, don't bother joining it, and it's not a big deal. Voice chat's not as important as people will, make it out to be. And here's a tip for you, if you can't stand people that just trying to get you in voice chat anyway, here's a tip for you. Set it to auto-join voice chat, but set the voice chat volume to 0. Then they think you are in voice chat, and that's all they care about. Because 9 times out of 10, Nobody in voice chat is saying anything productive, if anything at all. And a lot of the time, it's just shit-talking and venting. So, like, you not listening to them is indistinguishable from them listening. Is indistinguishable for them. Like, they only care that you're in there. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. So you guys, like, don't worry about it, dude. And people say they don't give a fuck. It's always a funny one for me, because I just don't join the voice chat, and people ask me why, I just flatly tell them it's because I'm toxic, and I'll do nothing but shit talk you and call you names, right? Like, I'm very upfront about it. If I join voice chat, be real with you, dude, we're less likely to win, because I'm an asshole. I acknowledge I'm the problem, right? And then they go, I don't care if you're toxic. And then I join voice chat, and they go, you're toxic. And I go, fucking warned you, dude. I fucking warned you I'm the problem. I'm realistic about it, right? I'm not lying to these people. I'm the asshole. I'm gonna listen to you say things, and I'm gonna think, that's wrong, and I'm gonna tell you that you're wrong, because that's me. I'm a very brash, confrontational person. And then they don't like that. They don't like that, even though they told me 10 seconds prior they didn't care. They just wanted me in the voice chat. Suddenly they started caring. How peculiar. Got off on a tangent there, but I mean, you know, those are like the two main reasons for comp anxiety that I've observed. So like, that's pretty much the best I can give you. Really, it's kind of one of those things where like, you gotta find your own way of dealing with that kind of thing, you know? Like anxiety, stress, depression, anything like that. You gotta kind of like find your own way to deal with it. But like, for me personally, someone who dealt with like comp anxiety, that's what helped me. So that's like the best I can give you, unfortunately. So hopefully it helps. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered your questions from the email inadequately, please let me know and I will try to expand further. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.